And what I'm hoping to build here is a community of people that are most likely going to be small to medium business owners, some marketing professionals, people that want to learn, share, and grow together about marketing. And one of the things that I have kind of latched onto is the idea of stop selling and start telling. And what that means to me is the same thing that I did back in 2011 on Twitter, which was I was in an inadvertent way selling myself. But really what I was doing was I was telling jokes, I was telling stories, I was sharing and building a community with people that were, they became friends of mine that came to my shows, that were people that were hiring me to play at their bars and things like that. So I think where we are today, I think the hard sell is a thing of the past. I think the used car salesman thing I think it's over. I think content now needs to be sharing stories. It needs to be giving people advice. It needs to be bringing value to the table, bringing your story to the table. Because at this point, I love my story, but I failed a lot before I got to where I am now. And that's why I like, in hindsight, it all makes perfect sense on a personal level and a professional level for me. And so what I try to do is take the things that I've learned and apply them to my small, medium-sized business clients and say, okay, if you're selling hardwood flooring services, how are we going to endear you to the people that are going to want to buy your services, right? We want to go ahead and share knowledge with them. We want to answer the questions that people have when they're in that space. And I think that's where, for me, stop selling and start telling sums up everything that I do. And the reason this podcast is called Market Like a Rockstar is because you, if you're listening to this podcast, you are a rock star. You don't know it yet, but this happens every single time I get a new client. And I'll go back to my fifth client, the one that allowed me to quit my job, who I love this guy to pieces. And I ended up, he was a gym owner. He is a gym owner. And I worked with him from the fall of 17 until COVID hit, and he got just devastated in March of 2020. But this guy was, I think at the time he was in his late 30s, and he'd been a personal trainer for 15 years. And he had a wealth of knowledge. I mean, the stuff this guy knew about physical fitness, about nutrition, it was so deep. And he was so wise. And he was a big fan of Andy Frisella, right? And he would always tell me, he's like, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. He knows more than me. I don't know enough. In classic imposter syndrome stuff. But the reality of it is, Jamie was a rock star. And it was up to me to get him to realize that and to bring that out. So my point of all of this is to help you find that rock star. Tell your story, okay? Like that's what this is about. That's what business is about. That's what marketing is about right now. You think you don't know as much as you do know. I guarantee you're selling yourself short. I'm not quite ready yet. Just not quite ready yet. I promise you, you are ready. You don't know you're ready, but you are ready. You do know enough. That is a guarantee.